The story of Helen Wawira. She's going to be in action on Wednesday in the powerlifting competition at the Paralympic Games Paris 2024, and also keeping our eyes on the 1,500 meters T11. It's taking just place just around now. So we'll be, by the time we finish the program, we'll be just giving you a hint of what the outcome is. But right now, we move on to our second conversation. Before I introduce my guest, just a reminder that our sign language interpreter is Ann Wangeshi. And in studio with me, I'm going to start with my far left. You've got Joan Wangari. She is in charge of publicity and marketing at Scrabble Kenya. John, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And then in the middle, in green, and first of all, thank you. First of all, Cynthia, yes. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Are you teachers in school?
I am not very sure.
Well, she's from Kahuya Girls High School, and she's part of the Scrabble Kenya team that's going to be traveling to Sri Lanka this weekend for the World Youth Scrabble Championships. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So after this, just confirm so that people don't say that you did run away. She's got the permission.
I will. You sure will.
So you've got what, 10 days off for the third term?
Yeah.
Good. And then we've got Joy and Jerry. Joy, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
From Brookshine.
Yeah, Brookshine Schools.
Brookshine Schools.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's also part of the team, and they're also part of what is known as a brainy bunch under Joan. Apa sasa, there's a rule.
Yeah.
You have violated.
Which one?
2/3.
Unfortunately, one of our students who was supposed to come from Star Boy Center was not available. You have to organize with schools. They have certain rules. So we had to adhere to that. And also because of preparations, we had to give them the time. But we are diverse. We have both the male and the female gender.
So let's just start with this and, building up as Scrabble Kenya towards the World Youth Scrabble Championships.
Yes.
Just give us what the process has been over the last the last 8 months of the year. By the time, over the weekend, you are taking them through their places before they travel tomorrow.
Yeah, some will travel tomorrow, the others will travel on Wednesday. Yes. So over the past 8 months, we've had various qualifiers. We had the Nairobi Scrabble qualifiers held at Starehe Boys Center. That was in second term. The other regions, the Central region, Western region, they did their qualifiers in the first term. So a group of students from different schools participated in the qualifiers. The kids who qualified were supposed to do nationals. So unfortunately, with the mandamano that went on, we had our nationals in Mombasa at Aga Khan, and due to the mandamano during that time, we only had very few numbers as compared to what we had been expecting. Most schools were fearful of the climate in terms of safety of the students. But the few that were able to attend, we had a total of almost 100 students. And out of the 100, we were able to pick the top 10, or rather, they were qualified. The top 10 best students qualified to represent Kenya in the World Youth Scrabble Championship. And then we had 5 reserves. So from this particular group, you have under 15 and under 19 all together in one roof, participating for that one chance to represent Kenya in the Worlds.
Now, the thing about Scrabble is a game that you grow into over time. You can start early, and over time you develop and grow, build into it and get, more. As your skill level grows, you can compete against anyone. Yeah. How have you been able, to blend with the under 15s, who would be around Form 1, Form 2, and the under 19s would be those who are in Form 3, Form 4?
So I would actually surprise you that we have as young as 7 years, 6-year-olds who are learning the game of Scrabble in school. So in a competition level, what you're learning in class is what you're taking to this board. Be it biology, chemistry, language, anything that is a language or anything that is a word that is valid in Scrabble is playable. So when it comes to the under 15-year-olds, we take them through the steps of understanding what they're playing. So from the word the rack you already have. The rack meaning the 7 letters you have on your rack. Once you look at that rack, what do you do with that particular tiles, or those particular tiles? How do you play to maximize on those scores? So building or doing those spaces with those students helps them at least get the confidence to play in such competitions. You'll find a 7-year-old challenging a word, and they'll tell you that word doesn't make sense. Get it off the board. Yeah? So that builds a bit of confidence, and it's something that is gradual. They started when they were very young. Right now, if they played against you, I don't know how that would fare. Wouldn't want to risk you kicking us out of the interview in the event that they beat you.
No, I've seen the Scrabble dictionary. There are words that are not real. They don't exist in real life.
They do. Actually, they do. Most of the words are picked from different languages. So as we've had severally in our conversations, words being picked from different languages. We have words from the Swahili language, words from words that kind of come from Kikuyu or Luo language, but they have English meanings. But they're just picked from different regions in the world. Yeah.
So Kogeria is a word?
Now you're pushing it, but no. Yeah.
All right. So let me come to you, Cynthia. And actually, it's quite interesting. You have played together for the same team previously.
Yeah.
Before she joined Brookshine. But let me just come to you, Cynthia. Just take us through your journey in this sport and how you've grown to a level now that you're representing the country.
Okay, Scrabble is a game I never knew. It is something I came to learn in high school. But during the Corona period, I identified the game, started playing it with my family, my mom and my sister and my other siblings. And it was something common for the house. We just played on a Sunday morning and everything, or after church or something. And maybe I would say I never took so much keen into it until I went to Kahutia, that is back in 2022. And there was, surprisingly, a notice of whoever was to join Scrabble. And I knew the game, so I just wanted to try and see how it goes, if it's different with what I used to do. And my coach took me through. I have learned for those years. It has been a long journey.
The name of the coach, that's a person you should be proud of.
Yes, my coach, Mr. Patrick Manyara. He has been my coach for the last year that I've been training so seriously with this game. And he has took me to very many tournaments, taught me how to play, discipline me with the right words. If I play wrong words, you get some discipline, get corrected. And with all that discipline, growing and learning these new words, still today I still learn new words. And it has inspired me. It is something that I've taken into my life. It is something that I would want to continue with. And it has been helping me. Even in my sad moments, I'll play Scrabble and I'll be like, at least I'm feeling much better. And right now, I am very glad that I am representing Kenya next week, and I hope that I will continue doing that for the next years to come.
And Joy and Jerry here is with us. Just take us through your Scrabble journey.
So I started playing Scrabble when I think I was in, class 5. And back at that time, Scrabble wasn't very common to people my age. Like it was more about the...
What was common for an 8, 9, 10-year-old then?
Like during that time, it was all about kids playing football, just like going out. You wouldn't expect a child or someone so young to be playing a mind game. And so there weren't so many...
Your PlayStation?
At that time...
So for you, it was all about the outdoors?
Yeah, sort of. So at that time... there aren't very many tournaments for people around my age bracket or people even below 18. So I would go and play tournaments with my sister where I would actually play with people from university or adults. I would actually play with adults and I would get beaten so thoroughly, but you know when you're a child and everybody's like looking at you and patting your back and telling you you're going to be something really big. And I remember my first tournament was in Standard Chartered and I was basically the last because every other person that followed me did not show up for the tournament. And everyone was like, just know you're not last and you can be something really great. And I continued practicing. My sister became my coach, John, and I started going to tournaments, and I worked my way up to a point I was now getting confident. Like, I would go to a tournament with the mentality that I can actually become a top, like start with I can be top 10, and then next I can be top 5. And last year when I joined Kahu here, it was the first time that I actually started playing with people my age, and I realized, wow, there are actually other people my age who actually play the game. And I started training with Mr. Manyara and the rest of the team, and we went for tournaments, and it was really helpful because when I was at home, I trained with my sister, and when I was in school, so my ability to play the game, which grew really fast, and I came from being a beginner to someone where I would go somewhere when I would go to a tournament, and everyone was like, that Form 1, be scared of that Form 1, she's beating people so thoroughly. And I remember my first tournament in high school, I became, I think, 4th, and I was so happy.
Ulikuwa namba ngapi?
The first tournament.
Where?
Tulienda pamoja.
Tulienda Kagumo.
Yeah. Oh, Kagumo, I think I was also kind of a beginner. Somewhere there, but I can't really remember. But I remember that was not the very good tournament, but yeah.
Okay. Continue.
And it reached a point where everyone just had Kahu here, and it used to be me, Sian, Jemima, and CJ, and everybody would like see us, and they would be terrified, and you had to not have that ego worry, so that like you just couldn't put yourself in such a higher rank, because you know the pride comes before fall, so you just had to humble yourself and just play the game to your very best. And I continued with the tournaments. I used to go to my sister. I played adults, and eventually I was constantly on the top 3. And top 3, number 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. I've never really become number 1, but soon, real soon, they should be afraid. People in Division C, I'm coming for them. And yeah, and we've gotten so many opportunities to travel to Nigeria to represent Africa, and we became number 2, which is really nice. And you get to play with people so young. I got beaten by an 8-year-old Nigerian boy. And weirdly, you don't even get embarrassed, you're just in shock, because you're like, by the time this boy is my age, he'll be unstoppable, he'll be winning the worlds. And it's amazing to see that younger people, our next generation, have started to play the game, and they are learning. And it means that maybe in the next generation, the youth will be the ones leading in Scrabble instead of the old guys.
Something that she has mentioned, Joanna, I want to come to this, is the fact that when she started playing, she was competing with adults.
Yeah.
And for you now to bring in what we call the age grade competitions, what was the work that Scrabble Kenya did and how that accepted? Because you'd have, with the exception of that Nigerian who's 8, every 8-year-old wants to not compete but have fun and pick up anything and everything around the sport.
Yeah. So Scrabble Kenya has been very instrumental in taking the game of Scrabble to schools. One of the biggest challenges that the Federation has faced is the lack of knowledge about the importance and also the benefits of this particular game. So you'll find there are students who play this game in their dormitories during sports day at school, but they're not exposed to these competitions. So during her time, you'd find that the competitions are far in between, and they're not as exposed. So maybe a school might fear to participate in a competition which they have no knowledge about. So slowly by slowly, since those years till now, we've seen a rise in numbers in terms of the schools that are taking up the game, in terms of even the numbers of participants. So you find a school will upgrade the number of students that are playing from maybe 5 to 15 or 20. And most of the time you find the challenge is the boards. So if you tell a public high school in Mashinani to buy such a board, becomes an issue. This you'll find them on the street. But then you can get them in downtown for quite the affordable price. But then for majority of the schools, affording this particular board, you're telling them, please bring your students to play, but you must carry your boards. As compared to chess, where they'll find boards in the hall to play with, in Scrabble you have to come with the equipment. So it's an investment that most schools are afraid of parting their monies for.
What would be the cost of that board?
So for this board, If you were to buy it on the Scrabble Kenya website, it's at 1,500 shillings. If you were to buy it on the streets, you'll find it maybe at 1,500. In the supermarket, depends on the supermarket, but ranges between 1,700 to 2,100. If you go to downtown and really look inside those places, you might find it at 800 shillings. So this particular board, and the good thing about this board, it comes with its racks, the tiles, so you're coming with a complete set, as compared to now this other board that is quite pricey. So majority of the time you'll find a school will tell you, I have students who play, but I don't have boards. So how will we work it out? The organizer tells you, bring them, we will look for boards to facilitate that. So majority of the time we find that resources are the greatest deterrents when it comes to numbers. But slowly by slowly, we've been donating boards to different schools. So when you get sponsors who come on board, they'll give us boards. We take them to the various schools. We are lucky that the governor of Turkana is one of our patrons in the game. He plays with us. He has severally donated boards towards schools, so we are grateful for that.
Well, let's talk about now the competition at your age grade. How would you describe the Central Region if I was to speak to you, Cynthia, such that? Because I think you also had an event in Murang'a, in Sagana.
Yes.
Which is,
but then that was for the seniors.
For the seniors.
Yes, but the Central Region, very tough.
Describe it.
I am so in love with Central Region. You will never go to a tournament and never hear the word Central Region, because they know we are the toughest. Central Region is one of the toughest competitors of even Nyanza Region. Schools like Friends School, Kamisinga, they will come and they will be like, Central Region? No. But Central Region has grown. We've grown together, and schools like Kabare, who were in the same region, Kagumo, the same region, we've grown together. We are rivals and competitors, real tough competitors. If you find someone from Kagumo, you'll be like, I know where I come from and I have to stand out with my name. As I speak for where I come from in Kahuya, we know that we are the bearers of the title of being champions. So we can never let loose of what we own and what we possess. So if Central Region comes out, people say they learn from the Central Region people, because maybe some of them have not experienced and they have not learned this game for quite so long. But with my experience, I am sure that even as we continue, people can beat Central Region, but we are not ready for the beating and everything. We are there to win, and Central Region is really tough.
Let's talk about playing around Nairobi, and in the meantime, Joanne and Cynthia, you could just set up some racks so that we have a demonstration before we go. And I mean, actually, let me not even talk about Nairobi. You've played outside of the country, and just talk about the African scene and what you've seen, and where Africa lies, as Kenya lies, as far as the African continent is concerned. As two of you can set up something. Which board will you use?
Just use this one. Yeah.
You'll use this one.
Yeah.
All right. So that we can have a whole idea and we can see. And by the way, because Central Region is the one, Kogeria is now officially a Scrabble word.
It's very interesting when you've played in Kenya your whole life. And I remember when I used to play, I've played against people in the Central Region. And when you reach a point where, it's a very tough region, and you reach a point where you're actually on the podium, you're on the top three, you get a sense of pride. And then there you are traveling, you're going out of the country to play, and then you get really humbled. Because those people, like, example, the Nigerians, they're in a whole other level. Because I remember when we were going to play and we played our first games, and I was beaten thoroughly. My opponent had 600 points and I had 300 points. And I think that boy was, 11 or 12. And that's when you realize maybe you really aren't the best. And it really crushes your soul a bit, because it's your first game. You have like 17 more and you're already off to a very bad start. You have big negative. So it really helps when you have like the right motivation. So you just have to keep pushing, keep playing. Even when you're beaten by an 8-year-old, you just have to keep pushing and keep telling yourself, I'm doing this for my country. And we actually did very well. Kenya became number 2 after Nigeria. And they, you know, having people who have beaten you, having the winners commend you, saying you guys are actually tough, it feels really good. And now as we go on ahead to Sri Lanka, we'll meet them again. And I was telling my Nigerian friend, you better watch out because we've been practicing really hard. We were not like the way we were last year. We're coming to beat you now. We're coming for that money and for that trophy. Yeah.
So you come and right now we've got a full demonstration game that is going on there. I can see the word blunder. I can see hop. I can see I. Yeah. Eh.
Yes.
Yes.
We have 2 letter words, unique letter words. The A, you know, that's an exclamation. Eh. Yes.
That one we know.
Yeah.
So just take us through how the words came through and the scoring process as we continue.
So started by playing harp. Harp, then she overlapped my harp with I, which is actually a very nice play. This is one way of maximizing on from your opponent. So you maximize your scores. The harp is 4, 5, 6 plus 3, 9 times 2, 18. Her points are 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 22. 22 against my 18.
22
so
just by writing, by just write I.
Yeah, so she created I, ya, and ER, error. So, because I didn't have good tiles, I dropped the blonde to play blonder. So, whatever I remained with, I didn't remain with a vowel. So, I've picked up vowels in my turn right now. So, whatever she plays, I know I have a potential bingo from the rack I have. Yeah.
Okay. Play. And now,
Okay.
Cynthia. The only change to the rules is that you're able to speak out and say which word you're playing.
Actually, yeah, this is 16, 17, 18.
So 18 points for playing Exo.
Exo.
Yeah, Exo, like the exoskeleton. So majority of these words, the words we mostly bypass because of, we assume that they don't make sense.
Yeah. It don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
You just look at the word and you say, eh. So,
O.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more word before now. You just give us, the format for the championships that's going to be in Sri Lanka as and the team that's traveling. So, do one more.
Seems to be a quite. I'll just play something. I'll play that to take some of points from. She got you. How many did you get? 17.
18.
So 3, 4, 5, 6, 14, 15, 18. Just from playing 2 tiles.
Okay, that is
M-U-N-E-M-X-U.
XU. That's a Zulu word. Okay. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It has a good sound.
Majority of the time, we don't really care about the pronunciation, so long as you remember the word. So the only thing it helps you with is the spelling. Sometimes you might end up placing a word and misspelling it. So you have to be very good in your spellings too.
Just to make it clear, is that how many, for example now, I can see you've got the E-M, the E-H. How many how many tiles am I supposed, what's the maximum you can jump to semi?
So in terms of playing?
Yes.
On your rack, you have 7 tiles.
You have 7, so I'm saying on the board.
On the board.
So the tiles, how many tiles can you
overlap?
Yes.
You can overlap as much as possible. If you had a word that was overlapping the blonder, well and good. You're getting more points.
So 2 tiles, and in the case of the E and M there, how many tiles can I overlap? Maximum how many? 2, 3?
So here on the EM, up here, the word that will end up to here. So an R will come over here very easily, a REM. So whichever word ends with an R can come up here.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, very well. Now, you've been to a championship at this level. Just tell us how it works. Enjoy.
The championship.
As you head to the World Youth.
So technically, we've been training really hard. So we're all planning to travel a bit early. So the tournament is starting on 6th, 7th, and 8th. But most of us are traveling tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. That's 3rd and 4th. So that we can have an extra day to practice, to get the team ready, and just to give each other motivation and just have a plan on how we're going to play, strategizing and just practicing together so that we can be ready, and also to interact with our competitors, at least get to know who you're going to be playing, who you're going to be competing against, because I hear there are very many countries. I hear there are Pakistan, where they bring 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds. So you can't underestimate anyone. Everyone is a threat. And as much as we're going as a team, we're also going to be competing against each other, because at the end of the day, you're there to win. And as much as you're doing it for your team, you're also doing it for yourself and for your country.
All right. Now, Joan, just as we wind up, just give us the whole concept of how the World Youth Chess Championship works. I'm looking at 3 days, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. I'm trying to think of even 30 nations, and I'm trying to think you'd have to work very fast, at times with a clock.
Yes.
So just give us an overall outlook of the competition format.
So in a game, they'll use the timers. Here you're having a setting of more than 150 to close to 200 participants from different countries, different continents. And in this 3-day period, the games have been scheduled in a way that the kids get to get a breather. You're going in a foreign country, the heat is crazy over there, and then the games are also tough. As I said, you'll have Pakistanis who are 13. They actually have 10-year-olds in their national team, national youth team, a 10-year-old competing, and they'll compete against them. So in that particular setting, they'll play a number of games, and they'll play in one pool. At the end of the competitions, the awarding will be depending with the age. So we'll have the under 16, top under 16, top under 14, top under 10, under 12, sorry. So these different categories will be awarded money prizes, trophies, gadgets, things that will just inspire them to continue in the journey of Scrabble.
All right. Thank you very much. And you've just heard from Joanna Ngare, who's in charge of publicity and marketing for Scrabble Kenya as they head to the World Youth Championships in Sri Lanka. The team's traveling tomorrow and the day after. The competition on the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th of this month. That's basically over the weekend. So there's a lot of international sport with Kenyan representation taking place that weekend. Joy and Jerry, thank you very much and all the best. I hope that Nigerian chap, he meets his watch this time around. And Cynthia Mukami, thank you for being with us. Yes, represent as well, together with the other 8 who couldn't be here with us. Thank you for being with us over the past 1.5 hours on Sports Check. This Monday morning, the fight against doping was our first conversation, and now Scrabble. Well, we'll be now taking a break, and after that, Kasichana Mashaw is going to be joining us on Kurunzi Mashinani, followed by Tamrini. My name is Daniel Wahome. Our sign language interpreter has been Anne Wangeshi. Have a good day.